the feeling just doesn't wear off, as not only has the hype for Ivan Demidov skyrocketed in the last day, we have some quotes from Lane Hutson, from Martin St. Louis, and even some stats to show that somehow this debut is arguably more impressive than it even seems on the surface. We got to talk about everything that happened in our boys' debut, but also Lane Hutson himself. And while we do know he broke one rookie Habs record last game, there's some more that we have to dive into that, again, even makes his season that much more phenomenal. Somehow, I didn't think it could get better, but it does, and we're going to show it all to you on this episode of Habs Digest. Guys, before we get into it, though, a reminder, half of you are not subscribed. We are this close to 20,000 subscribers. If you are hyped for Demidov, if you are hyped for playoffs, hit the subscribe button down below. We're going to be keeping you up to date every single day. Jesse, let's talk about our boy, the Lane trade, because we're going to get into Ivan. I got to start getting used to saying Ivan, because that seems to be what he wants to be called in a little bit. But the Lane train is insane. Now, I want to show you some stats here. The first thing, this is the Habs skater record for rookie point getting. And I think a lot of people know this stat, right? They know that Lane Hutson passed Chris Chelios, the highest scoring rookie defenseman season of all time, right? But what some people maybe didn't even really notice is that he passed Guhle as well, and now sits alone in third all time for most points by a Habs rookie in a season. Jesse, we do have a couple of other stats that you are going to want to stick around for that doesn't even have a rookie qualifier. But again, how do you feel about like just seeing some of the names that Hutson has passed? I know we talk about it a lot, but like just sitting back and looking at the names, it doesn't get any less surreal.
He's just in exclusive territory right now. We've kind of been tracking this the whole year. Like, would he be able to beat Chris Chelios' rookie D-man record for points? And here he is just doing it, really with the best of the best. Again, we've made those comparisons now for years to Brian Leash, and now it continues along with our boy Chris Chelios. We're even bringing Ray Bourque into the chat, who he's now tying with for assists in a rookie season. Like, just absolutely unreal what he's doing right now. Of course, we're loving that chemistry that he's having with Demidov as well, because we feel like this is what he was able to do, like basically without Demidov. Like, what is he able to do once we really kind of get this full bromance into full action here?
I wonder when that's going to come. Look, they're carpooling to practice, man. I don't know. I feel like after watching, I know it's a 1-game sample size, and I don't want to get too hyped. Just kidding. Yes, I do, because based on what we saw from that one game, like, I'm scared for other teams to see what kind of combos they can pull. But again, Jesse, it's not just Habs rookie records. I know you mentioned for NHL rookie records, like Ray Bourque tying him in assists. That's nuts. But, you know, we're a Habs channel. Let's talk a little bit about Habs history. How about Lane Hutson is already 4th all time for most assists by any Habs defenseman in any season ever. The only person who has more assists in a season as a Habs defenseman is Larry Robinson, and he did it 3 times. That's it. There's no one else. Lane Hutson, higher than Chris Chelios, higher than Andrei Markov, higher than JC Tremblay, higher than even some other Larry Robinson seasons. That, to me, is nuts, and if that's not enough for you, the Habs have, well, they're the most historic franchise in hockey, and one of the most, you could argue, hey, one of the most historic franchises in all of sports, right? How about top 10 already, all-time, 9th all-time, actually tied for 8th all-time for Habs points by any defenseman in any season. Only people above him, seasons by Larry Robinson, Guy Lapointe, and Chris Chelios. That's it. Various seasons there, and all of them had many more goals than Hutson. You look at the power play goals. Shout out to Sheldon Surrey's 19 power play goals in 06-07. That's still nuts. How does it feel, Jesse, to legit say Hutson has a top 10 scoring defenseman season by any Hab ever? That almost doesn't feel like it could be real, yet somehow it is.
And you just feel like he's getting started. We're really seeing like this is him with him doing a lot more playmaking. Those goal totals are going to keep going up through the years as well. That's why we can already see him being a point per game player. Like, what's next from there? Is he a potentially like 100-point type of guy? Like, I know that's absolutely crazy, but given the type of starting point that he's really begun with, it's really not out of the realm of possibility to see that we have a guy like a Lane Hutson, like a Demidov, who we're going to get to in just a moment. Like, both of these players have 100-point potential. It's not just a Demidov, right? Obviously, Hutson has that potential as well. Huge chance again of why we still have a 93% chance of making the playoffs. Yes, we need to touch on this. Kaiden Guhle was saying too about those 93% chance. It's like, if you would have told us in December that we're in this position and we have a game to clinch in, we're still kind of controlling our fate for that large part. If we win, we're in. Even if we just get a point in our final game, we would take that any day of the week. So they're saying they're going to come in ready for this game. A different club. This team isn't done growing. They're still rebuilding. They're still learning. And they're going to take those lessons that they've learned all the season, especially even from last game, into that final one against Carolina.
Absolutely. And hey, by the time of recording, we don't know the result of Columbus-Philadelphia. We'll probably have a video out after that game, or maybe you're watching this after the result and you already know. So, I mean, hey, look, the hype is just going to keep going up, Jesse, not just for this year, but for the next years to come. This is year 3 of the rebuild. That's it. We have a 19-year-old Demidov. He's not going to hit his prime for another 5 or 6 years. Same with Slav, same with Hutson. That's insane. But speaking of a guy like Hutson, I know we just talked about him a bit, and we're talking about our boy Demidov. I want to talk about some stuff that Hutson and Coach Marty had to say. Now, this comes from Arber recent article that I will link down below. There's a lot more in this. It's worth the read. Please go do it. Just going to show you a couple quotes. The first one here being from Lane Hutson, talking about our boy Demigod. I was just shocked and surprised. Like, wow, he's here. That was crazy. And he kind of just shrugged it off. Then he did it again. Like, he just did it again. And that's a very apt way to describe it, Lane. And it's not just Lane saying this, Marty saying, I thought he was great. And I think the one player who wasn't worried about much or stressed out, it was him. It's almost youth and naivety. That's why I wasn't afraid to inject this kind of talent. And Jesse, like, one thing we noticed, like, and Marty even said, this team had a ton of pressure on us last night to win that game, right? And a lot of these guys, they're exhausted too from the long season. Obviously, Demidov's exhausted too. Long season, jet lag, all this stuff. But he came over and he was playing loose, right? He hasn't been feeling that pressure from the fans all year. He comes in and he plays hockey. And to hear these quotes from the people around the organization, we saw the reaction from the bench. They're just as excited as we are. And they see the potential, maybe even more so than we do. Again, Marty's like just to take this guy, he's like, I see talent, I inject him, he's ready to go. These kind of quotes from the organization, the players and the coaching staff themselves, just again lends to just how good this guy's debut was last night.
It's feeling like the second coming of Guhle right now. And Montreal is still feeling that excitement just throughout the city. We're feeling it like just Habs Nation just all over right now. And it's really obviously, you know, it's that confidence that he's bringing to the table right from day one, right? He comes to Toronto, he goes to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and then he goes to his first game and gets a multi-point game. Mm-hmm. I don't want to read into that too much, but that might be some signs of things to come. Just saying here. Like when he was asked about it, about like getting a goal and an assist, like were you kind of like surprised that happened? And then that kind of classic confidence that we kind of come to starting to now expect from Demidov, while still being humble, but having that confidence, like actually, like I wasn't surprised. Like he knows his talent, he knows how good he is. So that's kind of refreshing as well to not only get this player that has that talent, but knows that he does. Because these Montreal Canadiens fans, you know, they know it for sure. There's a reason it's the hype there. But again, for him to have it as well, it's just showing like that 100-point pedigree, which Montreal Canadiens fans have been so eager for. He just came out tonight and really showed us he has exactly that. I mean, he's been blown away by the reception that he's getting from the fans. Obviously, it helps coming out and having just an amazing performance like he did last night. But again, you just have to feel like that love is going to continue. And you know what? He's loving the city as well.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, you saw him on the bench, man. Holy, after he scored, like the dude was like, oh yeah, I didn't get this treatment in Russia. Look, I'm sure they loved him. I know they loved him, right? And the fans, look, they have a huge arena at SK St. Petersburg. But like, there's something different about the vibe of the Habs right now. And again, coming in with that confidence, it's unreal looking over here and seeing, you know, 2 points for the Montreal Canadiens, like, and watching that happen, like, unreal stuff. And I want to just cap off this video by showing this, just another reminder of how historic this was. Like, I know we're selling this a lot, but like, it's true. Any Habs fan knows this is crazy, right? This dude, highest game score on the team. He carried the team's offense, which is crazy to say, right? Demidov's a goal scorer. 19 years, 125 days, became the third teenager in franchise history to score in their debut following Mark Hunter and Bernie Geoffrion. Once in 1981, the youngest player in 44 years. And then Bernie Geoffrion back in 1950. That is a lot longer ago. Almost 75 years ago. So unbelievable stuff from our boy Ivan. I think it's Ivan. We'll get some clarification. The prime announcers were saying Ivan Demidov. The inner arena announcer for the Centre Bell was saying Ivan Demidov. We don't know. We'll still have to wait and see. Call him whatever you want. Call him Demigod. That's what we're going to call him. Guys, it never gets less surreal to know that these guys are going to be on the team for years to come. And hey, probably for a lot longer this year. But let us know your thoughts on all this down below. We'd love to hear from you. That'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. There's one thing you can do. It's hit the subscribe button. It's completely free. 20K is a massive goal for us. We wanted to hit it by the end of the season, and we're so close. So thank you all for supporting us every single day. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.